Oh my god. Okay. Feeling goofy tonight. Hello, I am Sophie. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a bit of an impromptu video. I don't want to call it a vlog because I don't know how long I will be filming this, and if you watched my last vlog or this one, you would know that I am filming this on the same day that I finished that vlog. That is why my fan is so loud, because I am processing the clips for that vlog. Anyways, it has been a couple hours since I finished that vlog, and it is now like 3 in the morning. I definitely calmed down from when I finished filming that. But long story short, if you didn't watch that video, my beautiful story, Project What, was going to be ready for beta readers very soon. I had some final touches. It was kind of a lot, but I had just some edits that I need to put in before I could like send it out to people, because otherwise it wouldn't be readable, because right now it's an amalgamation of scenes from draft 2, draft 2.5, and draft 3. So it was a complete disaster. But I am basically done with fixing Act 1. I literally had like 5 more scenes to write before I could put that all into my doc for draft 3, and I was ready to rock. Like, Act 1 would have been done, I would have moved on to Act 2, and we could finish this, hopefully get this story out to beta readers somewhere in February, maybe March. That did not happen. Literally a couple hours ago, while I was trying to finish these scenes so I could finish Act 1, I had a little bit of an epiphany, a little bit of a thinking moment, very rare for me, in which I realized how I could change a major point in my story to make it so much better. And in that vlog, I did not think it was going to work. I did not think that what I had come up with would work in the long run, that like I would find a catch, I'd find a reason why it couldn't work, and my dreams would be crushed. But I didn't. In the, mind you, quite brief overlook that I did to my outline to see if this change could work, I did not see any issues that I could not fix. So I was like, okay, I guess we're doing this, because in all honesty, this story was a little boring when it came to like the enemy before I figured this out. It was just a little predictable, that whole plot, which is supposed to be like the main discovery of the story. It fell a little flat, in my opinion. And I'm hoping that with this change, it will be a little less obvious. Obviously, you can like put it together, and it'll probably be pretty easy to put it together given me, but it will be less easy than it was before. Anyways, I think I said this, it's like 3 in the morning right now. I did not intend on being up right now. Well, I kind of did, because I was expecting to finish Act 1 today, so I thought I'd be like typing up my stuff right now, finishing up that vlog. That got done a little early, so we're done with that, right? Now I am up trying to re-outline Project What, because what I have figured out right now, I'm just trying to lay out the big picture. Sounds so much better. I feel like it'll be so much nicer. It'll definitely mess with the main characters a little bit more. So I think it'll be a little more like fun and dramatic. I hope this is not just like sleep deprived, over caffeinated me thinking I'm a genius, and tomorrow I'll wake up and look at this document and think I'm so dumb. I think it's good. I think we're good. Anyways, this is what I have so far. You can't read that. I'm aware that was the point. But I made a little notebook on my good notes for this, because I knew this brainstorming would not go good on a piece of paper, because I was gonna have to move a lot of stuff around. But literally this one spread with all these little notes on them is the only thing I have so far, and I think I'm gonna go to sleep, because I just wanted to get the basic idea out of my head before I forgot about it. And then tomorrow, hopefully, I will be able to go through my whole outline and figure out what I need to change. I do also have 2 other things I need to like flesh out a little more, and that is the timeline of this story, to make it more realistic and also to line it up with Project Star, I need to move this timeline out into the future a little bit more. I do have hopefully a solution for that if I do only move Project What up 100 years, because I do just want to do 100 years, just to make it easier for like stating it in the story. We don't have to say like 125 years. It's just a century. That's all we have to say. And then another thing that I need to flesh out is my main characters' motivation for getting into the school. I think that the other two main characters have very solid motivations for getting into the school. I don't want to toot my horn and say very, but they're definitely like justifiable and they make sense, like why they would be at the school, what had driven them to be there, stuff like that. And then I feel like the main character's reason for getting into the school is like that she has one little dream and she doesn't know how she's going to achieve that dream, but she has one very vague goal in her life, and she worked so hard to get into this perfect school just for this vague dream idea thing that she had in her head. So I want to solidify her reason for getting into the school a little bit more, because right now it sounds dumb. So that as well needs to be fixed. Those are the 3 goals of this video. This is a very convoluted intro, I apologize. These are the 3 main goals for this video. Flesh out the main character's motivation at the beginning of the story. Figure out the world building and timeline of my world, or my island. It's Earth, so it's not my world, but my island. And then third is to figure out this giant change that I'm putting into the story. Kind of a big deal. Kind of need to figure it out. Yeah, that is it. I wanted to record this now while I still had this idea fresh in my mind. I will be going to sleep now, so I got some basic ideas down for this big change, and tomorrow I will be going through my whole outline and figuring out what I need to change generally to make this work, because there is going to be a lot of stuff that I need to cut out and replace, but it'll make it better. So yes, that is the intro. See y'all tomorrow. Okay. It is the next day. I've not worked on anything yet. I kind of just got ready for the day, settled down, all that jazz. I've not touched Project What yet. I'm still freaking out about it. Why couldn't I have figured this out sooner? You know, when I wasn't this close to getting ready for betas. But maybe it was the fact that I was so immersed in the story that I even thought up this idea. So, you know, a whole chicken or the egg kind of thing. That is fine. We figured it out. Deadlines can move. It's okay. We're gonna get to work. We're gonna get to work today. I have like 45 minutes until I have to take a break, and I've got some other things to do, but those 45 minutes I can spend doing this. So my approach for this is going to involve my outline, my super epic outline. I'm going to scan this with my phone, which is what I'm filming with, and put it on that notes thing that I made yesterday, and I'm just going to be writing straight onto there, just so I don't have to mess this one up just yet. I don't even know if I will write all of the stuff on here when I'm done. And also, like I said yesterday, I know I'm gonna have to do a lot of redoing, and I don't want to have to do that on a piece of paper where I can't erase pen. Digitally, you can erase pen. It's beautiful. So that's why we're doing it over there. I'm going to scan these pages really fast, and then we will get to actually like writing on them and like fixing the story. Okay, so now basically what I have to do is go through this whole list and figure out what needs to be changed now that I have this new little tidbit. Should not be too difficult because I already went through this mentally yesterday and not too much has to be changed. So we will see what happens, but I'm gonna film a little time lapse of me just doing this. We will see how it goes. I have 45 minutes, so it's gonna be kind of like a sprint, but not really. Hi friends. That fan is really loud. 1 second. It is the next day. I just spent like the last 5 hours working on a video that's about to go out in about 30 minutes. So that's what I do with my day. But that is not what this vlog is about. This this is about plotting, re-plotting for the 20th time. It's okay. Last night I basically went through the rest of the scene by scene outline that I have and put in all the changes that I expected I would need. I have that clip of all the pages there. That one page that's like completely covered was a total disaster. I was like, maybe I'll just do this tomorrow and give up and, and just go to sleep. But I did not do that. Instead, I finished figuring out everything that I needed. Shocking to me, not gonna lie. And now there's just a few things that I need to like completely flesh out. Actually, I think there's just one thing. My biggest issue that I had yesterday, and what almost made me want to just go to sleep and work on it tomorrow, was that while my main character is off doing her thing because she's obsessed with this group that ends up being like the antagonist of the story, while she's doing that whole thing trying to figure out more about the group and everything, the other two main characters are on their own. They're doing their own thing. And beforehand, when I still had this piece of information revealed at the end of Act 1, these two characters, the stuff that they're doing in the fun and games and everything made more sense because of that information that they knew. And now they do not know that. So that was the biggest part that just was not working at all. But I think I figured out what I can do with that. I feel like maybe the amount of time we see the one guy, this is so vague, I know, but like there's this time where we don't think this guy is alive and then he's alive, and I don't know if we see him alive for long enough. Yeah, I feel like I just need one more scene with my two other main characters to sort of flesh out this one guy. I'll have to figure something out, but I definitely need something else because he just seems like to pop up and then like that was it. That's it. He's just there now. Now I just have to figure out what to do for that. I don't know. Anyways, I just wanted to come up on here and update because my brain's kind of dead right now. So hopefully I'll be able to work on it later. But I just wanted to film right now while I was still somewhat coherent. It's so good. It's so late though. It's literally 2 in the morning. I should not be drinking this. So I never actually end up explaining this in the vlog, so I'm gonna do it over voiceover right now. So essentially, after I finished putting in all of my notes on my iPad of all the changes that I wanted to make, I went back to Google Spreadsheets to redo the scene list that I had for this draft. This one is a lot more loose. It has some concrete scenes in there. It has some brainstorming scenes. It has just little places that I indicated I wanted a new scene, but I didn't really specify what was gonna go there. And then after I did that, I exported it as a PDF, put it back on my iPad, and made a list of all the things that I needed to either flesh out, rework, or completely change in order to start draft 3. Okay, it has been a day. I think yesterday I finished everything up. I have realized how much extra things have to be fleshed out and I guess just like world built with this change, because it's just information that becomes more relevant now that this other piece of information isn't known. It's weird, but like you saw, my list for everything I need to figure out before I can finish draft 3 is quite long. It looks like this. I ended up highlighting it, I'll get into that in a second, but it is quite long and I do not want another hour-long video on my channel so soon. I'm not opposed to the hour-long videos. I think they're fun. I just do not want 2 of them basically in a row. So I am going to end up splitting this into its main sections. This video is basically just me figuring out everything, apparently, and I think it worked out pretty well. I have realized that this change can work, which is so good. I was so scared I was gonna find something that would make it impossible to work. Everything that like made it difficult can ultimately be changed to work. Also, my glasses are glaring with everything on my desk, so we're just gonna take them off. Anyways, there is also some stuff in here that I figured out about things that didn't have to change. Like I was just like revisiting the story, I figured out new ways for things to work, and that worked out really well. So both with this new major change and some little changes that I made up while I was fixing the outline, it just accumulated into a lot of things that need to be either 1, reworked, or 2, figured out to be integrated into the story. Most that's like some character work, some world building. I'm completely changing when this story takes place. Like originally, this story is supposed to take place 30 or so years after a nuclear war that like ends humanity on Earth, right? And then these are the last like survivors of the war. Of course, there's probably like some rural communities or like isolated communities that still exist on the planet, but this is like the last of bustling civilization. And this story was supposed to take place 30 years after the war had ended. It meant that like the main character's parents and grandparents lived in the world that saw the war, they experienced the war. They're the people that came to the island to survive, and that the kids, the main characters, are like the first generation of people that were born on this island. But given what happens in this book, not really, but definitely the other books in the trilogy, and then I want to connect it with a sci-fi like later on, given the circumstances of what happened in those stories, it just is not reasonable for this book to take place 30 years after these giant atomic bombs were dropped. So I'm also shifting that timeline up to where they're like maybe the 3rd or 4th generation of kids born on this island. And then there's just a lot of different factors that go into like the history of the island that we need to know, just for little tidbits in the story to just, you know, expand the world. But I do need to know that as the author, right? There's some little changes like that. Of course, I have to rework what we know about this one character, since now the biggest thing that we knew about him early on is not there anymore. So we have to figure out what is going to replace that, how we slowly learn more about this character instead of just getting it dropped on us. Also, the antagonist group, I gotta flesh it out a little bit. I have a lot of information on them, like in the story. I just need to put it all in one place so I know that I'm not repeating myself, or that all of it makes sense like linearly. So I've got to figure that out as well. And a lot of little things, little sections of the book that need to be reworked because they revolve around this character and what we did know about them. And now that we don't know it, how are the characters going to react? Because our opinion on this character completely flips with this change for most of the book. In the original draft, we dislike him the whole way. And this time around, we're not. We're not going to dislike him the entire way through. Really have to figure out that flip and how to rewrite the main characters to where they don't inherently dislike this guy the whole time. That is one of the major things. That's why there's so many bullet points on this for the most part, because I just have to change how the characters perceive everything in these scenes because of what they now know. Anyways, we will get back. I keep looking at my little list over here to like know what to talk about, but this is the list. In the time lapse, I did not highlight it. I just did this like a few minutes ago. That's when I realized that I'm gonna have to break this video up into multiple videos, both because of how much information I'm gonna have to change and how long it's going to take. Yeah. Anyways, this is my list. The yellow is all the plot changes. So that will be its own video, all the yellow. The purpley pinky stuff is character things. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I needed to figure out my main character's motivation for getting into the school originally in Act 1. And then down here, we have character flaws, because I realized they're not very prevalent in the story, and I want to flesh those out a little more so I can put them in the story so their flaws can sort of be a part of the plot and everything. I found this. Ooh, that is very bright. What is going on? I made it worse. Let's just do that. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. I figured out that I needed to integrate the character flaws a little bit more. After I went through my outline again, I realized that only one of my main characters really shows his character flaws affecting the story, and it's tied in. It's his motivation for getting into the school. It's the reason that, like, I'm not gonna spoil the book, but he prioritizes things over other things, and things do not go good, but like all of it's tied into how he is, his personality, and I really like how that works. But my other two characters, both of them don't really have very prominent character flaws. Of course they're flawed, right? But their flaws don't really take the story and like give it its little twists and turns. And then the last color, the blue one, that is just world building. There's not a ton of world building I need to do. I basically talked about all of it already. The antagonist group and like their history, both before the island and on the island. We're gonna be on the island for like about a century instead of 30 years. So I've got to add like 70 years of history with this group. We also have the history of the island that I need to figure out as well. And then one more thing I need to figure out, it's just a logistical thing, is this building that goes up during the story. Right now, it seems like this whole 40-story building goes up in like a weekend. Not very realistic, so I have to figure out like how I can weave that into the background of the story, so we can see that this building has been in construction for at least a little while, so it doesn't look like it literally just spawned in on the island. That is basically it. I have figured out everything, I hope, that I need to fix in order to finish this story again, please. We're gonna keep our fingers crossed and we're just gonna do the work. I am so excited to see how this new outline turns out though, because things are clicking. The brain is braining. We are doing the work, and I hope it turns out okay, but we will see. Anyways, that is it for this video. I will have videos out for each separate element. So I'll have a world building video, a character building video, and then a final putting the outline together video. Those should all be out pretty soon because my goal for this finished outline is January 31st, and right now it is January 20th. So I have a little over a week. So those videos will be out relatively soon. But yeah. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. I apologize for the story taking so many turns lately and all these videos ending strangely. Have you guys ever had to do something like this with your stories where you get right to the end of a draft, you're so close, or, you know, at the end of some stage, right? And then you realize, oh, I'm gonna have to completely rework this. And then you start from scratch. Do you just finish the stage you're on and then do it? Or do you drop everything and start over? I kind of like ping pong between the two. If I do have to make a big change, I'll be like, okay, finish this section first and then work on the changes, and you could see what happens, because I don't want to leave anything half finished. But sometimes, like this time around, I just dropped it. I dropped finishing Act 1, and now we're doing this. Like, I think I was halfway through writing a sentence when I figured this out, and I just stopped, and I haven't looked at it since. Anyways, let me know all of that in the comments, and hope to see you in the next one. Peace.